Let's talk about driving test. 95% of learners holders are making this mistake. After they're done with their learner's test, they have their learners, they're excited. They go for driving lessons and they make a mistake by forgetting that their driving test is divided with two tests. Two categories, if you like. We have the yard test and we have the road test. So when they're doing the driving lessons, they mostly do the 80-20 rule. They are focusing 80% of their time on yard test, and they are not even aware of that because they've been told that alley docking is difficult, straight reverse is a bit tricky, be careful of left turn, step hill is extremely difficult. You see, if you master these, you are going to come back with the driver's license. You see, if you master this, surely you're coming back with it. And they're forgetting that after you're done with it, you're not given a grace period whereby they're saying, congratulations, you are done with the yard test. We're giving you a grace period so that you can gather your thoughts. We're about to jump to the second side of your test, which is the road test. You don't have a grace period if maybe people didn't tell you that. Once you're done, immediately you're done with the yard test. The road test starts immediately. And because of now you have focused 80% of your time on a yard test and you mastered the yard test, road test become tricky. That's why some people, after they're done with the yard test, when they come back, the truck is not driven by them. Someone is driving on their behalf, or let me say the examiner is driving on their behalf simply because of they messed up on the road. They didn't prepare for what's coming on the road. I'm Zakaria, the ghostwriter, by the way. If you like this type of content, you can support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's called the Amazon of Driving Schools on YouTube. Let's break it down. Different DLTCs are positioned in different territories, in different cities. It's your responsibility to know about the locations of those testing grounds. Know about the testing ground so that you won't be confused during your road test after you're done with your yard test. Kempton Park has a pedestrian crossing. After you're done with your step hill at Kempton Park, you're driving outside, there is a stop sign. You're going out there, you might be like, you know what, I am done with the yard test. You're forgetting that that place is always busy. People are crossing from this side of train station, crossing to the other side of DLTC, also a clinic. And also there are those who are going to the mall. And they are going to use the pedestrian crossing. So if you are not mentally prepared, you might continue driving while someone is standing right there at the pedestrian crossing, waiting to cross to the other side. Because of you are not mentally switched on. You are going to drive while someone is trying to cross and you're going to get into trouble. I'm just saying that. You are going to see other DLTCs which has a testing ground, like Benoni testing ground, whereby when you're done with everything and you are joining the road, you don't have a right of way. You have to stop right next to the gate. You might panic once there is another vehicle or another truck which is coming in and you are heading outside. You might panic a bit because of you didn't study the subject. You didn't study the testing ground. So if you study that, if you prepare for the road test, you know once I'm done with the air test, when I get to the gate, there will be cars which are moving towards this direction, and there will be other vehicles which are moving towards this direction, and I have to cross and join this other lane and turn to my right-hand side. That means I have to be vigilant of vehicles which are approaching from my right-hand side, passing through this direction, while I'm also checking the gap if vehicles which are from this direction are giving me a space if it's safe to do so that I can join the road without causing other drivers to sit on their brake, without causing other drivers to shout at me and also to hoot at me, because of you don't have a right of way. And you need to know that I have to turn to my right-hand side because of that's the route they're using. But I have to be vigilant of vehicles which are approaching from this direction and also vehicles which are approaching from the other direction before I join the road. Now here's the other thing. Now when you go to Senobarwana testing ground in Bochum, it is just next to town, just behind town. So when you're getting out of the gate, you don't have a right of way, right? There is vehicles which are approaching from this direction and other vehicles which are approaching from this direction, and you are facing this direction. And you have to turn to your right-hand side. Immediately after you turn, you have to do another right. But here is the tricky part. Before you're doing another right, there is a road which is joining the road that you're on. And those vehicles which are approaching from your right-hand side, there is a stop sign for them that you might not see if you didn't study the subject. You have a right of way, but the vehicle approaching from this side, which is going to join the road that you're in, doesn't have a right of way. So when the examiner tells you that after we get out of the gate, we indicate into the right, we join in the road because of it's safe to do so. Just right here, he tells you that we will take another right. But if there is a vehicle which is approaching from this side, you might panic and stop, because of now you are told that you have to indicate and go to the right-hand side, and you see the vehicle approaching from the right-hand side, not knowing that you have a right of way. And if the examiner asks you, why do you stop? I stopped because I saw why do you stop? You didn't study the subject because you're not supposed to stop. You're indicating you have to continue. This person has to stop because of there is a stop sign for them. So different DLTCs has different testing grounds. When you look at Ekurhuleni DLTC, when you're done with the air test, you're getting out of the gate, there is no distractions. The only thing which is happening before you get to the gate, there is a stop sign while you are still inside the yard. And there are people who are walking by, and if you're not careful, you might drive past that stop sign. You need to be vigilant of that stop sign. You have to stop, do everything that you have to do, then continue, not far from the stop sign, just right here is the gate. You might ask yourself a question, why did they put that stop sign there? They want to test if you understand the other side of the test, whereby you are going to come across a lot of stop signs when you're driving on the road. And if you miss the first one, that means you're going to miss a lot of stop signs that you're going to come across when you're doing a road test, right? This video is getting long, and I wanted to put it also on TikTok, but let me just continue. So after you're done with it, then there is a gate, you're getting out, Then the road curves, you are still on the open field because they decided to put that testing ground next to Calfontaine. If you know Calfontaine, it's open. But after you're done, right there, the examiner will tell you that you have to turn to the left-hand side because of the road to the right-hand side is finished. It's ending. I almost said finish. It's ending. It's a dead end. It doesn't continue, right? So you have to take your left, approaching the busy road of taxis and vehicles which are actually coming from this side of Calfontaine, just coming from the freeway, the R21, coming from airport, Captain Park, Pretoria, all these, they are entering Tembisa as the location. So it's a busy road. So you have to study the subject. And right there is not a traffic light. So that means when you're turning to your left-hand side, going up to the robot over the bridge, now you have to be very, very, very mentally locked in because of it's a bumper to bumper. And sometimes that traffic is crazy. You might panic, the truck might switch off time after time. You might end up kissing another. It's a problem. When we talk about kissing, we talk about bumping, other vehicles and stuff like that. And you don't want that to happen. So you have to study the subject. I am saying this because of learners holders make that mistake of focusing a lot on their test, not putting too much effort on their road test. When we look deep into Midrand, you do everything and their space is open whereby you can drive without dealing with traffic. Even after getting out of the testing ground with the DLTC, there is still an open space where you can drive before you can start having traffic. And also that lane, it's not multiple lanes whereby you have to be stressed a lot about other vehicles. That's one thing which is a biggest advantage about it. So you gotta study your subject. Don't make a mistake of putting too much effort into one side of a test. And now when you're driving on the road, you come across taxi drivers who are going to drive on a yellow lane, who are going to be trying to beat the traffic, who are going to be doing everything in their power so that their people can get to their workspaces on time, and you end up panicking. And I need to speak more about the road test so that you can be mentally prepared, because you are going to come across different types of drivers. So I need to speak about it so that you will know that this is not only happening during your test. Even after you're done with your test, that's going to be your norm. So you need to get familiar with that kind of environment and that kind of behaviors so that when you're driving on our South African roads, you don't get dragged into road rage by those who have things that they know that they benefit. Sometimes you have no reason, man, to go to war, man. Just let that person pass and continue with your journey to wherever you're going. I know the video is a bit long. I might have two parts of it when I upload it on TikTok. But obviously a lot of videos like this, I record them with the intention of uploading them on TikTok, and they don't even make it to TikTok. When I'm going through the editing, because I record, edit, and do everything, I will be like, you know what? I don't have to put it on TikTok. Let me just put all these videos. Oh my God. Ooh. We're talking about driving, eh? And we're talking about different types of drivers. As you had that guy they almost killed him, man. He's tall. And even the way he is running is really tired. When you look at his t-shirt, he's wet. He's been running in a way that he got into the traffic light. The traffic light is not working. I'm going to make a video right now showing you. The traffic light is not working. So they both wanted to beat the traffic light. The guy who was jogging, he wants to beat the traffic light. The driver who is from a certain security company, he also wants to beat the traffic light because he's also in a hurry going somewhere. Obviously, maybe he's responding because it's one of those tactical vehicles. And of course, he almost, I almost, took him. So I appreciate you guys, your love and support. Thank you.